Right, got myself a delivery from Amazon. I think I know what it is, but let's take a look and we'll confirm if I'm right. Oh, it's big and heavy. Whoa, it's a lot bigger than I was expecting. Mythos, the illustrated story by Stephen Fry. Ebullient and funny, a rollicking good read. Fry exhibits enormous erudition. This is very, very nice indeed. Very different from what I was expecting. I'll tell you why, because here's a book I bought on Friday. This is the 4th book in his Greek Myths series, and this one has paintings inside. So let's take a wee top-down look, shall we? Okay, let's take a look inside this beautiful book. Mythos by Stephen Fry. No one loves and quarrels, desires and deceives as boldly or brilliantly as Greek gods and goddesses. The beginning. So it's not like the Odyssey at all. The Odyssey has regular text and then inlaid paintings in sections, which I'll show you in a minute. Let's just have a wee flick through this. I'm really looking forward to looking through this actually. Beautiful, beautiful book. So I'm not going to flick through all of it. That gives you an idea. Let's have a wee flick. I'm getting the smell of the book now as well. I always love to smell my books. There's a ribbon, bookmark ribbon. That's a nice picture. See, at the moment, I've no idea who the characters are in these paintings, drawings, illustrations. Pretty cool though, huh? Let's have a look at the back. Back flap. Check that out. Pretty cool. There's a bit about Stephen Fry. So there's his other books, Mythos, Heroes and Troy. That's the paperbacks, I think. And what's going on at the back? Any kind of glossary or anything? Oh, the Gordian knot. Phrygia. That makes me think of one of the musical nodes. Not nodes, modes. Midas. I've heard of him. Sidebar. Afterward. No, there's no glossary or anything. That's surprising. Saying the names, that's good. I'm going to look at that straight away, because I had a linguist point out to me that Sappho is not Sappho at all, but Sappho. Because I bought a book of her lyrical poems, or the fragments, for the same read-along actually, for the Ted Joya Humanities. So, there we go. There's the back cover. So let's take a look at the Odyssey in a minute. And there's just the spine. Yeah, so great book. Got it at a reduced price. I think it was 25 quid instead of 35. Here's the Odyssey. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition, which includes bonus material. So I bought this last Friday. 25 quid. And I looked on Amazon today. £12.50. But not this version. So this one has a map inside, which I love. I always like a map on the end pages. Who doesn't? Troy has fallen and the victorious Greeks head home. So I'll just remind you, I've not read any of the other books and I know nothing about this series, so I was a bit hesitant about starting with Odyssey, given that this is the 4th book in the series. But Stephen Fry does say in the introduction that it's perfectly fine to start with the Odyssey. And he does go into some of the backstory as I'm reading the text, so it's, you know. Speaking of pronunciations, the same person pointed out to me that this is pronounced Kirke, and not Cersei, which is what I've heard a lot of YouTubers say. So here we have maps: Ajax's journey, Agamemnon's journey, Aeneas's journey, Menelaus and Helen's journey. And then we got a little introduction there from C.P. Cavafy, whoever that is. Then we've got some Greek, which I can't read. Introduction, welcome to the Odyssey. This is the 4th book in my series, retelling the Greek myths in order to understand and to enjoy Odyssey. There is no need, I assure you, to have read the previous 3, Mythos, Heroes and Troy. So that's good to know. That gave me the confidence I needed. It's a good start from Stephen Fry, just to let the readers know that it's cool to dive right in. And that's what I did. So I'm up to here. Just about to start The King of Men. So page 58. And so far I've had to take notes. But look, there's his footnotes, right? Here's an example of what I was talking about. There'll be a reference to his other books. Yeah, see Mythos, pages 306 and 317. And that carries on throughout the text so far. So now that I've got the other book, I can look up these references, which I'm very excited about. So let's have a look at some of the artwork. This is what I'm talking about. You've got these, I'm sure there's a bookish term for this, inlay, or I don't know, inclusion. If you do, let me know. When you put these little inserts of pictures into a text like this. Cassandra prophesying. I've just learned about her. She was given the gift of prophecy and then refused to reward the god who gave her the gift of prophecy. Was it Apollo? I can't remember. But he was looking for some sexual favours as a reward, and she said no. So he then spat in her mouth in order that no one would believe her prophecies. Imagine that. Gods, eh? See, I haven't looked through all of these pictures, but I'm going to enjoy it once I've got a bit of context for who these people are. It's just delightful.
Yes, it's delightful.
And this is what I was expecting to find inside Mythos. This kind of thing. And I was hoping it would be the same size as well. We all like series of books to have the same covers and be the same size, don't we? But no, I'm not bothered. That means I've got another beautiful book. So these are great. I love this. And I hope they bring out some of the other books. Charybdis and Scylla. I learned about that in a translation I did for my masters, where this was used. It was an economic text, actually. I can't remember how it came about. Why would you talk about Charybdis and Scylla in an economics text? But they did, and I had no idea who they were. I had to look it up. So, yeah, I hope that they bring out other editions of Troy and Mythos and Heroes. If they do, with these kinds of paintings, I will undoubtedly get them. That's it, just 2 insets. And then at the back, that's a similar cover to what we saw at the back of Mythos. We've got another end paper illustration, which is great. And that was the barcode that was on the back. I took it off. That must be the barcode for Waterstone's version. I took it off. I don't like stickers on my books. I can get the actual ISBN. Will I take this one off? I don't know. So I'm reading the Odyssey as part of Ted Joya's humanities course, and it's the second week of his course. I'm doing it on my own Substack, but I'm doing it over months instead of weeks. And the Odyssey runs over 2 months. So this is the second month. Playing catch up. Where's the other one going? I've got this beautiful copy here with French flaps and deckled edging, and I've got this one, which is by the same translator, Emily H. Wilson. This one has footnotes and chapter summaries at the end of each chapter, or each book as they're called. And I bought this on Friday because, well, I like Stephen Fry, and I thought if I got a different translation, it would help me with consolidating the information that I'm taking in from reading Emily H. Wilson's translation. And it's doing that and some. It's such a fantastic, fantastic book. It's very, very different from Emily H. Wilson's at the moment. I think this is the third chapter, I guess you would call it. They're not called books in here. It's not laid out in the same way at all. And I haven't really got to a place where this book starts. So it's a lot of background information, which is tremendously helpful. And in his footnotes, Stephen Fry refers back to the other books in the series, which I didn't have till now. So now I've got this one, Mythos. I can look up the relevant passages when he refers back to this one. Although the page numbers are probably going to be different, aren't they? Because this is a big-ass illustrated version. Nevertheless, I'm sure I'll be able to find what I'm looking for. And this is such a delightful thing to have. And I'm enjoying the Greek mythology far more than I thought I would. Why did I think I wouldn't? I don't really know. I guess because it was basically unknown to me completely. I'd never looked at any of the classics. I watched the Hercules Disney film, if that's part of the mythology. I think it kind of is. And, I mean, everyone my age will have seen Clash of the Titans when they were wee. When did that come out? 1980? Something like that. So that was Perseus. I knew a bit of that. And of course, who can forget the Clockwork Owl? Don't know if that was Greek mythology or not. Probably not. But I remember the Clockwork Owl. And the Gorgon. Of course, Medusa. And the Kraken. Yeah, it's all there. From the 80s. And the Winged Horse, of course. Pegasus. That's the one. So, other than that, I didn't know very much at all. What I also didn't know was that the Romans and the Greeks had the same gods, but they had different names, which is terribly confusing. So, Stephen Fry has very helpfully included a little table at the back, which gives you a breakdown of who's who. So, Zeus, for example, in Greek, you know who he is, don't you? I didn't. He's Jupiter in Roman. Who else did I know? Well, I didn't know any of them. Aphrodite. Venus. Hermes. Mercury. So I knew Mercury because I was in the Royal Signals and he was the cat badge figure of Mercury. Which I suppose is because he's the messenger god and the Royal Corps of Signals is all about communications. So it makes sense. But I didn't know he was called Hermes, which was the name of the UK delivery firm for a while. It's not called that now. But yeah, there's a lot. And what I'm finding is it's confusing a bit because there are so many names, so many relationships, and now they've got more than one name. It's like, ugh. So I'm making lots of notes, writing stuff down. And that's why it's particularly helpful to have 2 different books on the go at the same time that cover the same texts in very different ways. So I'm not far in. This isn't a review. This is just to say I'm enjoying it, and you can read along with some of the stuff that I'm taking notes and stuff on over on my Substack at camscampbellreads.substack.com. So come and join me over there if you want to read this great Odyssey book with me, and I'll see you later. Cheers.